All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Let's Talk About That. This is so fun, Ted. This is so fun for both of us personally, for today's guest. Welcome to the podcast house, Jazzy.
Thanks. I'm happy to be here.
So here's the dynamic. Actually, yeah. Jazzy's trying to make me laugh, and I'm trying to make her laugh.
No, because he keeps looking at me.
That's the dynamic of the group, though. I have nowhere else to look.
Okay. So I'm the parent in between the two kids.
That's true.
Trying to keep you all in line.
Also, she said that I was a bit of a yapper.
I know.
Do I have that reputation?
Yes.
Around campus?
No, not in a bad way.
Okay.
Because that can be a bad thing.
Right.
But this is in a good way. It's a compliment.
No, I appreciate it.
Yeah, it's a compliment. You're a good yapper.
Hopefully make people feel accepted,
yes.
warm, included.
You're a conversationalist.
Yeah, that's right.
That's the fancy way. I'm saying in a fancy way, you're a conversationalist.
Dude, so you know who else is an elite conversationalist? Is Jazzy.
Jazzy.
Yeah. No, she's incredible. So, little backstory. I met Jazzy on her recruiting visit.
Yeah.
Do you remember this?
I do remember that, yeah.
So, like, Sean was walking you around and you came to Jennings. I think it was in the summer. There was, like, nobody here. And so we chatted. We kind of started talking sports immediately, hit it off. I told Sean that I hoped you would end up here.
You gave me a Com Arts t-shirt. I still have it.
I gave you a little swag.
A little swag.
Oh, I love it.
You literally said, you're like, here's a little swag.
I'm a believer. Okay, I'm a believer in swag. I believe in t-shirts.
It's the swag that won her over.
Yeah, I hope so. Among other things. The chance to win a natty, potentially, that might have had something to do with it. But no, we're delighted to have you in Com Arts. And it's so interesting. Like, I don't often get to have student athletes in my classes, but when I do, I find that they bring an energy, a perspective, like a life to the classroom that I don't always have. So you've been a joy to have. Also an elite writer.
I know.
Like, I've yet to find something this kid can't do.
This is incredible.
Yeah, it really is. So Jazzy's our starting point guard.
Yeah.
Just finished a tremendous run through the Elite Eight into the Final Four. What did that feel like, Jazzy, to play on some of those elevated situations?
Well, I mean, it felt really good.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, a lot of people probably wouldn't know this from the outside, but we had a really hard year, like just trying to gel and grow, and we couldn't really figure it out. We were out there, getting kicked out of practice in Mississippi, shout out Coach Campbell. And at that point, I was like, there's no way. I didn't think we were going to win the GSC. I didn't think we were even going to do well in regionals. Like, it was at a really low moment. So when we overcame that and we figured it out. Yes. We won the championship for the GSC, went to the Elite Eight. Then we actually won and went to the Final Four. It was the most fulfilling feeling of joy. And I was just so happy to be around a bunch of girls that I liked.
Yeah,
it was fun.
Absolutely. Well, and I can tell you on this end, and Fran can speak to this too, it was a feeling of joy for us.
Oh, my gosh.
So we all piled into that bowl gym.
Oh, my gosh.
Fired up the big screen while you guys were playing. And it was so satisfying and so fun to feel proud like that.
Yeah.
And to just see, I always tell my students, the thing I most love about this job is being able to see people do things that they're good at.
Yeah.
Whether that's writing or theater or basketball or whatever the case may be, seeing people do what they love to do and what they're good at, it brings me so much joy. So it was a blast to see you up there.
Oh, so much fun. And I have such a deep respect and admiration for athletes because I was never one.
Really?
So, no.
Not even any little kick the tires on volleyball in high school?
Maybe like a little intramural.
Little power puff?
I was
quarterback?
No,
Quarterback.
I don't know how you're going to feel about this, but you're not going to be shocked by it.
Yeah.
I was the cheerleader type.
Okay.
So, okay.
Shocker.
I know.
A lot of Aquanet in the hair.
Let's just move on.
Let's just move on.
So I love the fact that you are so talented and you're given this talent that I don't have. And to watch you be able to do that game after game after game and have so much fun with it and use your talent and operate as a team and watch you all do what you do. I just that's incredible. And so it's so fun to watch that and to cheer them on. And I've said this before. I've said it to different athletes on different teams. I don't know a whole lot about basketball, but what I do know is, the bare minimum. And what I love is just absolutely cheering you on. Y'all are incredible. It's so fun.
Well, and I think being at a school and in a context where they're in real classes, they're in the classroom with us and they can become seen, known, and loved by their classmates. It goes a long way. So take us back to that moment in Mississippi where you're getting thrown off the court in practice. The team's at a low ebb.
Yeah.
Mark's at a low ebb.
Do tell.
Okay, well, I'll say this because we won the regionals and everything. It's fine. I can say it.
All's well that ends well.
So we're at Mississippi College, on the road.
Like what month was this? Like
what month was
November, December,
like January.
Oh, January.
It was
okay.
It was the back end of conference.
Oh, okay, okay.
So it was in January. We're at Mississippi College, practicing in the dome. People not catching balls, can't figure out how to do the scout. Just no energy. We were flat, and you can tell, when Mark gets mad, he just, cross.
What does that look like?
It's that look. He furrows his
eyebrows.
His
eyebrows. It's the eyebrows.
His eyebrows.
So intense.
Yes, his eyebrows, and he just kind of goes a little mute.
Yeah.
And I just knew there was something was going to happen. It was going to set him off.
Yep.
Boom! Someone doesn't catch a pass.
Oh boy. Here it comes.
Everyone's just head slowly turned to Mark. He's like, pack up, we're done.
Oh.
And everyone was just standing there like we were frozen, like statues were like looking at each other like, are we supposed to like do something about
Does he really mean
this?
that?
Like, no, he literally just starts walking off and packing up his bags
done.
and leaving. So right then and there I was like, wow, we're cooked. I thought we were just cooked and didn't help that we didn't play the best game. We ended up winning just because of, we were just better. But it was like that moment really was hard, and it was something that I didn't know if we could overcome.
Yeah, it's kind of like when Dad says he's not so much angry, but disappointed. That's worse.
Yes.
So you helped, and I know this because we've talked and we talked throughout the season, but you helped kind of redeem that moment. How did you as a leader, as a senior, help kind of speak into that moment with your teammates?
Yeah, well, initially right after, I just pulled everyone together, and I was just kind of like, this is really unacceptable. Like, we have really high expectations for ourselves, and we know how good one another are, and like we're confident in each other. So just kind of relaying that initially, and then we had a team meeting, just as players, at the hotel room. And shout out to Brooke Hampel, who's our amazing GA. She helped facilitate it and everything, and we just kind of like try to be vulnerable with each other, so we can like figure out what's going on, try to find a way to gel, and work through some things. And after that, we went to, where did we go? I don't know where we went. Delta. We went to Delta. Wasn't the best game again. And, after that, I was like, we might really be
in trouble.
In trouble. But I think just seeing the way we rallied around each other and just like picking each other up and just constantly trying to figure it out, and we never like let down, is it's the reason why we made it as far as we did.
That's right.
I mean, we don't have one All-American on our team. We don't have one girl that's like, just get the ball to every time or like whatnot. Or we have to rely on someone, and there's no burden on anyone's shoulders. So, I mean, that's what makes it so fun. So everyone's a part of it.
It's so good. And basketball is such a relational sport. And if the relational part is unhealthy, then the team is unhealthy. And I think having people in the clubhouse who are elite communicators like yourself, it's really, really helpful. Now, academic question. How did you become such a good writer? Like, were you a big reader as a kid, or how did that come about?
Well, I think I don't like to read.
Okay.
I hate reading.
Interesting.
So, I don't like reading.
So when I read those long stories in class, that's a little bit boring for you.
Well, it's different because, you're
I'm
yapper.
yapping.
You're yapper, so I'm just used to it.
You know,
so it's fine. But I don't know. I just think my favorite, like, writing is what I do in your class is really, like, storytelling and, like, connecting with people. I love learning about people's stories. Like, for one of my projects, Professional Portfolio with Professor Riley, I decided to do a bunch of feature stories on athletes at Union.
Oh, that's
and
fantastic.
that's just been my favorite thing.
I love it.
I just get to sit down with people, have a conversation with them, get to know them, and get to tell their story in a beautiful way. So
that's so good.
I mean, it's just, I'm passionate about it just because of that connectivity part.
Yeah, and writing is a real tangible way to honor other people. And if there are people that you want to get their stories out, you want to honor them, you can treat them really well in the interview room, and then obviously care for them well on the page, then you're doing a good thing. So kind of speaking of such things, caring for people well, being in community, you had a pretty big life change here a week or so ago in that you became a believer, became a follower of Christ. Talk us through how that happened, like kind of what that journey was like.
That's a great question.
Yeah.
Okay. So basically, when Sean reached out to recruit me, I didn't see his email for like 3 months or something. It was in my junk. And like one day I decided to go through my junk mail. Like, why? I don't know. And I saw it and I just decided, like, let me just
check this out.
And he literally texted me within like the first 5 minutes of that. We got on a phone call and literally we're scheduling a visit. So I'm like, all right, like this dude is like,
he's serious.
So I came and visit with my mom, and we actually went to the banquet the end of the year banquet that we have, and we were at Mark's house. Or Coach Campbell, sorry. I'm like calling him Mark, like we're first name basis, but I don't call him Mark to his face, by the way.
I like it though.
Let's just make that clear.
Hey, you're done now. You can call him Mark. Yeah.
But I just kind of realized that he really cared about his players, and the players really cared about each other. And I ended up committing here, and people started asking, "Oh, why'd you choose Union?" Honestly, I don't know. Like my other school that I was looking at was in San Diego, and they were a very good program. They ended up going to the Final Four last year too. Wow. So I mean, like, it's not like I had like this is my only option.
Sure.
But I just had no answer for why I came here when people would ask me. Because I mean, I came from San Diego. I'm in Jackson, Tennessee. You know.
I know.
I mean,
Bit
I
of a
love
culture
Jackson,
shock.
but it is a big culture shock. So I mean, I was just really lost for a long time. Like, what am I doing here?
Yep.
And then last year didn't really go the way like it planned to. So I was just like, oh, like what am I doing here really? And then just being with this specific group of girls, and we have like Brooke Hampel, hearing her testimony. She was my roommate last year, and she was the first person that really opened that door to a relationship with Christ. And then we went to our teammate Keishana's baptism last year, and that was really like inspiring too. So just like no one ever like forces upon me and was like, Jazz, you need to be a believer, which is something that I was afraid of. Yeah. You know, and just kind of it was hard for me because we kind of talked about in class, you know, Christians that what were we talking about?
Man, we've talked about so much this semester.
Yesterday.
Yeah. So kind of the tension between, wanting and needing to get have your views on faith informed by Scripture. Yeah. In Christ alone, by faith alone, sola Scriptura. This idea of the value of teaching verse by verse through the Scriptures, so as to avoid extra biblical law, right? Yeah. So adding or subtracting things from the Word that aren't there. So I think that's what we were talking about. But I think also, you're speaking to coming into this context from California. You're coming into like the buckle of the Bible Belt, basically, where everybody has some version of faith or Christianity that they're espousing. So there's like a big swath of people who have that. And then there's a really tiny swath of people who are just angry at it and hate it. And so kind of figuring out where you fit, figuring out what you believe. So what were the 2 or 3 things over the course of the last couple of years that really shaped your view of like what a Christian is and why it was appealing to you? Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm surrounded by an amazing group of girls. They live through their faith like beautifully. And like it's being around them has taught me like one thing I was scared about was like, am I going to have to like change who I am? And I felt like I was going to have to feel like I had to act a certain way every single day after I told everyone like, oh, I'm a believer now and stuff. So, I mean, just being around them all the time and being around Coach Campbell and Sean and Brooke and everything, it just really taught me that that's not the case. Like, that's not the case. And the whole reason he sent his son to die for us was because we're all broken, we all sin and all that stuff. So, I mean, that was really the big thing. Just being around these girls has really shown me like what Christ can do for people. Yes. And that's.
I love it. I think that I know that Coach Campbell has to have been an instrumental person in your journey here. We all have such deep respect for him, and I love him so much, but I love Brooke so much. And here's just a fun story. I know you wouldn't know this. I don't think you would know this, is that a year ago when Brooke and I were getting together on a very regular basis, she never shared your name with me, but she shared that she wanted me to pray for you. And that how much she loved you and how much she cared for you. And that I knew then that she was being used in your story. I just didn't know it was you. And I didn't know to what degree. I didn't even really know what she was talking about. But then as I've watched this unfold, I just think, I told her when y'all got back from Pittsburgh, I said, Brooke, the Lord has been using you so much in this life. And that has been the sweetest part for me. Basketball, that's so great. This is so great, but it ends, and it has ended. But this, to me, has just been the sweetest, most fun story to watch.
Which is funny you say that because Brooke's actually baptizing me. She's the one that's doing it. Yeah,
I love this.
So it's amazing.
It is.
And what a great argument for sport.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
There are people from time to time who will be like, "Well, Union's a academic university.
Right.
Like, why are we messing around with sports?" And this is why, right?
Yeah.
It's a way to be challenged by other people, to be in rich community with people that you trust, and you develop the trust over time. And I love it as a place to share and receive the gospel, and to give and receive grace.
Yeah.
And
It doesn't get any better than that. I think it's so fun. I think it's so fun of the Lord that he gives us sports, that he gives us talent. He doesn't have to do that.
That's right.
But that it's just another instrument. It's just another way to present the gospel, to understand the gospel, to live it out, to be shaped by it. And I don't know. I think a team and the idea of team and an actual real athletic team is a beautiful picture of the body of Christ and how it's supposed to function when it's healthy, when it's not healthy. You've learned so much this year, and I think that how it ended with you becoming a believer is like that's what we're celebrating.
Yeah, and I can't wait to see how your enjoyment of the sport changes now that you know Christ. I think it's going to open up a world of possibilities. You know, my later years of playing the game were so much more joyful than my early years because I knew the Lord. And I think you're going to love it. I think you're going to be a tremendous coach. I think all of that is going to trickle down to your players, and they're going to benefit from it. So, Jazzy, tell us one thing. You know, Mark Campbell is a bit of a celebrity around here. Bit of a deal, huh?
Gosh.
Yeah, we all know that, right? Tell us one thing that maybe we wouldn't know about Mark.
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah.
This is great.
Yeah.
What do we not know about Mark? Oh,
What would be a fun surprise for us to know about him?
fun surprise about him.
Yeah, you know, he's on the poster, and he's kind of a face guy for this whole thing.
Do you know what I want? I know it'll never happen.
No, go ahead.
But I want him mic'd during a game because
No, you
I
don't.
but I do.
No.
Oh, but I do.
We know how we do that. We stand behind the bench.
Yeah.
That's on purpose.
On purpose.
Yeah.
He doesn't.
Hey,
Yeah, we don't.
he's a
doesn't want
detail
those-
guy. He's
doesn't want
thought of
those
everything.
boosters.
Right.
We're gonna call him passionate. That's what we're
He
gonna
is
say.
very passionate, and
We're
that's the
gonna-
reason he's a
Every
great
good coach
coach.
is.
Yeah.
Every good coach
But he's
is.
passionate in the right way.
Yeah,
you know,
that's
there
right.
are some good coaches
That's right.
that, you know, the fact that he does live his life through his faith and everything,
Mm-hmm.
he takes that into account to everything that he does, and he's
Yeah.
so relational.
Yeah.
And there are some coaches that are very good that
Right.
Yeah.
no relationship.
Right.
Yeah, they can't govern the passion.
Yeah.
You know, the passion governs them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's true.
Is there anything that you can think of that you have learned from him outside of the game? Not tied to the game, but what is one thing that you've learned from him that you're like, I'm probably going to take this with me for the rest of my life?
I'd probably say, well, last year we really talked about just like not acting off my emotions and not treating people differently based off my emotions or thinking people don't like me based off what I think, like just kind of just being in tune with my emotions and how to handle them. And I think that's something that we've worked on because, you know, that does affect everything from your relationships, your friendships to your marriage and everything. So, I mean, that's my biggest thing that I've learned from him because we're pretty similar in that sense. We're very emotional. We're very passionate about certain things. So, I mean, he's been a great mentor in helping me learn that skill. And I think that's what's helped me become a better leader this year to lead my team as far as we did. Yeah.
And that is next level coaching to recognize that, right? There are probably 2% of coaches in the world who would think on that level, much less be able to coach that to their players. And that's why it's exciting to be around the truly great, right? Because they leave no stone unturned, and you know, the result speaks for itself. Fran, what else do you want to know about my great student here?
I just, what a gift. What an absolute gift of a human. What is, and it can be the obvious, it could be, I think of the Monday night game in Pittsburgh and the Wednesday night game, and it could be one of those, but is there a game that you're like, this is the game I want to, it could be the game at home where we won. That was an incredible night. I think I cried. Is there a game that you're going to walk away with and go, I could watch that game. I want to relive that game. What game highlight stands out to you the most?
I mean, there's a lot of things that we did towards the back end of our season that is just going to be memorable, like forever.
Yep.
I mean, the GSC conference was great because that was my first time ever, like in college, winning like something like that. It was amazing. But I really do think that game, our regional championship game, although I did not have the best game, let's just be real. Obviously, I probably wouldn't want to watch myself back playing. But I just think the atmosphere was absolutely electric. Like, that is something that not a lot of people can say, like, they've been a part of. Yeah. I mean, people don't know, like, how important, like, just the camaraderie is and like how like that crowd is, it does affect the players on the court, you know?
Yeah.
So I just think it's amazing to see how like a community can rally around us and really truly support us. It was just so fun just to celebrate with everyone there. Like I saw like friends from class that I probably might not even talk to, and they're showing up to my games, you know?
Wow.
We have our scout guys that honestly don't get enough credit for anything that they do because they are coming at 6 a.m. to help us get better, and like they get nothing in return, you know, and they're out there supporting us. And then you have like faculty and stuff like that. It's just amazing to see all these people like really rally around us, and it doesn't get much better than that, you know. Running over there with them, everyone cheering, having fun, like it was the most fun ever. Like it was just amazing.
Did you know that Dr. Dub gave you a shout out in an?
I did.
You have heard that?
I did, because actually I got a text from Rebecca Whitaker, who I love dearly. She's my advisor and my professor. Because I texted her about class or something like that. She texted me after the season. She said something about being a sister in Christ or something. Then I was like, it's weird. Like,
how do you know this?
How do you know that? And then I saw her in the hallway the other day, and I was like, oh yeah, I wanted to tell you that. Like, I gave my life to Christ. I was just been waiting to tell you. She's like, oh yeah, Dr. Dub announced it at a faculty meeting, which it honestly just shows like what other schools are doing that. Like that's amazing. Yeah. Like it's just amazing leadership that we have here. And
I can honestly say it was the best part of that meeting.
It was. So, it truly was.
That's so funny.
I mean, everybody celebrated that and applauded that, and was just so glad to hear that. That was a lot of fun.
It was amazing. Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah.
I think you're an incredible human being. Do you know what in the world you're going to do next? Do you have any idea? Is that something that's still being worked out? What's happening?
I don't know yet.
That's
you know,
totally good.
I mean, it's high hopes. Maybe I'll come back and be the GA, but who knows?
Okay.
Yeah.
You know.
I would love that if I can sway Mark.
Yeah.
You know, in any way on that. I'll put my 2 cents in.
I really said I was going to be here 2 years done and never come back, right?
Listen.
But look at how the world works.
Dude, this area draws
back,
you in. You know, it draws you in.
I might be in Jackson forever.
Hey, I would love it.
No way. Yeah, but I do love this town. I love this school. I love
that.
Yeah.
Who'da thunk, right?
That's what I'm saying.
Who'da thunk?
Yes.
Girl from California.
Yeah, and I was just coming here like no faith, no nothing.
Right.
Like why did I choose
Dude,
here?
no accidents in God's economy.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? He was in this from the start.
Oh, absolutely.
Union's been good to you, I hope, and you've been great to Union.
I mean, like too, back to what we were kind of talking about. I mean, you know how much grace professors have to give us? Like we're on the road for like we haven't been to class in like 3 weeks. It's just been amazing to see the support, you know. Some teachers probably would be like,
yeah,
that's true.
You gotta, you know, but they've shown so much grace to a lot of us, and it's just amazing, and we really appreciate it.
Good to hear it. Well, we're happy to do it. And,
I love it.
Yeah, happy to have you in class, and I'm glad the season's over because you can be there both days a week now. So we'll enjoy it.
Congratulations! Yeah, just congratulations on all of it. All of it.
Thank you.
Yeah, incredible. This is so great. All right, everybody. Thanks so much for listening to another episode of Let's Talk About That, a Union University podcast. Y'all have a great day.